Welcome back to my channel. Speaking to John. If this is your first time back to my channel, I talk about everything. I talk about my 10 years in prison. Talk about the prostitutes I've been with outside of prison, obviously. All the drugs I've done, all the fights I've lost, not the fights I won, the fights I lost, and some stock tips and my VR games. If you're a returner, damn, that light is like a sunbeam right there. I hope that ain't bothering anybody, because it's in front of me now. So that's fucked up. I'm gonna try to shut off the light. I hope this is good enough. And if you're a returner, then welcome back. You already know what this channel's about. So today I'm gonna do a serious video. I'm going back to talking about prison and what to expect with the, get everybody to understand what's out there to maybe stop you from committing a crime. Or if you do commit the crime and you wind up in this place, you'll know what to expect, what you have to do when you get there. If you don't know already by yourself, by being a man, I'll help you along. I'm going to talk about one facility and one facility only. This is Franklin. If you look at a map of New York, Franklin is all the way north. It's right by Canada. You can see like the Canada border, like the Canada flags, like you're right there. There's Franklin, Bear Hill, and the upstate box. It's all like right there. So if you get into a fight in Franklin, you go to the upstate box, then you go to Bear Hill. Fighting there, you go to the upstate box, then go to Franklin. Like, you get stuck there. But I take psych meds, so Bear Hill has no psych meds. So if I get into a fight, I go somewhere else. So I get out of that triangle, which is good. Because that triangle would be horrible. But all right, Franklin. It's 1,800 inmates, roughly. Because I remember when I was at Green, and people talk about how Green is all that, like, crazy, and better watch your back at Green. Green ain't shit. I never got into any problems in Green. All the young kids leave you alone if you don't bother them. Half of them are fucking cool. They like me, you know what I mean? Like, you act like a man, you get treated like a man, you act like a bitch, those motherfuckers will be right on you. You know what I mean? But it don't matter. They integrated a lot of adults, so it's not just kids no more. It's multi. But Green ain't shit. When I was at Franklin, Franklin was the worst place I've been at ever. And I've been at Green 3 times. But Franklin, was the worst place ever. I lasted about a month and a year there. I mean, a year and a half there. That was the longest I've ever stayed at any facility, because I always got in trouble and got kicked out. But Franklin, they don't punish you that much for the stuff you do, because the real stuff gets done there, like the killing once in a blue, and stabbings happen and cutting non-stop. So if you get in like a dirty urine or a fist fight, they don't give a fuck about that shit. You know what I mean? And the whole box the little box they have there was always full with people from PC. So if you got in trouble and you got like 30 days, you're going to stay in a little box, like 45 or more. Or they change at different facilities, but it's like 45 days or more, you go to the big box, the 200, and you leave the facility. But you get like 30 days, you're going to stay there. But maybe you get 30 days, and like 8 days later, they tell you, get the fuck out and go back to your dorm. You're on just cube confinement for the rest of your time, but you're not in the box. Why? Because they got to make room for more PC. All right, so there was roughly around 1,800 inmates. There's the main part, and then when you cross a fence, with an officer, and there's a fence, that brings you back into the back of the prison, which is called the annex. And just like Green, there's the north and south side. I was always in the north side, always, except for this last time when I spent like 2 months after doing like 10 months in the hospital for getting killed. You guys know I did the 2 months. I was on the south side because I had the medical issues, and I was right by the infirmary. But every other time I was on the north side, and they were supposedly saying that that's the worst side. It was fucking fine. But the annex of Franklin, no joke, So basically, when you get there, it used to be what was it? I don't remember what it used to be. I forgot. But they changed it. And you go to like a reception dorm. You go to a reception dorm, you're there for like, I don't know, you're there for like a week. And it's just, you're just getting your shit together. You know what I mean? A lot of people are just coming into the prison. That might be the first time. You ain't going to the store while you're there. Everybody there is picking up rollies from the floor. or saying what's up to the man that they know. Yo, bring a pouch out to the yard, or bring me some cigarettes, you know, to the mess hall. Like if you know the guys on the mess hall line, you know, the serving, you ask them to throw your pouch, they put it right under the tray, and you walk it, you know, you walk out. You make it happen. Everybody knows how to make it happen. But it's a pretty violent place, you know, and you know, I'm talking about when I was there. You know, who knows what the hell happened now, but I'm talking about when I was there, and it wasn't that long ago at all. In the annex, there was at least, and this is like the least, 4 cuttings and stabbings a day only in the annex. That's not the main, which is like bigger. That's just the annex. You know what I mean? And like that plus the main, and that's every single day. Like you'd be walking with your friend, and you're just walking, and your man's like, yo, slow down. Actually, let's turn around, because that guy right there, you see him with the white hat? See those 2 guys right there? Let's say the Kings. I'm making up again. The Kings, and that guy owes them money, owed them for a while. They're gonna cut him right now. And then what happens is, one person walks behind him, puts the you know, we have other names for it, but I'll say it so you understand it, a knife. They put the knife up, and then they push the guy's head forward. So it cuts you all the way back. It cuts you from your mouth all the way up, sometimes past the ear. And then there's a guy, your safety, right on the side of the guy. Boom! Blast him right in the face, right where that is. And it usually knocks him down. And if it don't knock him down, which it will usually knock him down, because you don't know that's coming, he's still worried about that. He don't know what the fuck happened. He don't know who did anything. He don't know nothing. Because when I was there, you were allowed to wear your hoodie. Now you can't wear hoodies. That's contraband. There's no hoodies in prison. But you're allowed to wear your hoodie sweater. You know, a hoodie with, with thing. You know, you got your jacket. You got your snow hat. You got your scarf. And you wrap your scarf around up to your nose, which you can't. They want it up to your neck. But it was literally like -20 sometimes. It's freezing almost all year round in Franklin. So you have it up to your nose. So all you look like is a fucking ninja. Everybody looks the same. Looks exactly the same, like a ninja. Because you can only wear your greens when you're out there. You can't wear like some spots you can wear your normal clothes. You gotta wear your green pants, but you can wear your normal kicks, like sneakers, and you can wear your normal whatever polo shirts and shit, but not in this place. You gotta wear your green button down, tucked in, your green pants, your state boots, green, state jacket. So everybody looked the same. No, I just seen some. Everybody looked the same. So, like, that's how things were happening. People were doing so much cutting, so much stabbing. Like, at first, I ain't gonna lie. At first, I was scared. I was a little nervous. I seen some shit happening right near me, and I was like, holy shit. But after you see so many of them, I mean, so many of them. I was there a year and a half, and they were happening at least 4 a day just on my side. And that was at least. Sometimes it was more. You know what I mean? And you got to remember, at the yard, it was happening at the yard too. And the walking to the mess hall. And, because all you could do at that time is you could just walk around, the fucking thing. Like, I would do it. Like, if I had to pick up something, I would just walk out the door. If people were out to chow and the door was still open, I'd walk and just freely walk around in a circle. Walk slowly around the chow area, wait for the chow guy to, wait for the guy I was trying to meet to come out. Like, yo, hurry up, come on. I'd meet him, do what I had to do, walk back to my dorm, and just walk in. I wouldn't check in and check out. Like Franklin was a little loose, and that's why shit happened. Most of the people there, they started being suckers. Like, back in the day, you used to be able to just get the shit. Whatever you want, you get. You just got 2 weeks to pay. You can get as much as you want. You got 2 weeks to pay, or there's a problem. You can have a pussy on your face, or even worse. You know what I mean? You got 2 weeks paid. Then, with the Westies and stuff, they wanted you to give them the numbers. So you give them the numbers, they give you the shit. But some assholes started just writing the same amount of numbers, like a fake Westie number, address, the city or whatever, and just giving it to them, getting the shit, and then they go check it. It's not a real fucking Westie. So then what they did was saying, I want the Westie numbers. Once I see that it's real and the person gets it, I'll give you your shit. And they did do it. They didn't hurt you or nothing like that. Like, you know, as long as you're a regular dude, you know, if you're a little bitch, you act like a little bitch, you up his ass, you know, asking, you're probably gonna have some problems. You know, let the shit happen. Shit was good, you're good. You know, you're getting your shit. But best thing to do when I was there, I ain't gonna lie. When I was there, like, I didn't give a fuck about nothing. You know what I mean? Because I had a lot of time to do. It just got added on. I thought I was doing a year violation. They added 5 years on top of my bid, on top of the violation. So I was like, yo, fuck everything. I don't give a fuck. So I wouldn't do shit. I would try to be just a porter for the dorm, and I wouldn't porter. I wouldn't do shit. You know what I mean? Wouldn't do a damn thing. Because motherfuckers, like, were dirty, the shit. Like, they were pathetic. They were pathetic in the bathroom. People hung out in the bathroom. Like, hang out, and they would rap and shit and look at themselves in the mirror, comb their hair, talk to their man that's in the fucking toilet, that's fucking taking a shit, maybe doing something, but taking a shit, you know, more than likely. I can't do that, you know what I mean? And once the late night count happened, everybody fought to go, you know, you go to the bathroom. Some places, it was only 2 at a time. You leave your ID right by the seals bubble, and you just walk. And everybody wanted to beat off at that time. That was the time. And I would see it just sometimes just going to the bathroom. Like, if I was just taking a piss, or I just want to smoke a cigarette real quick. So I get it, you know, there's only one ID, or they don't care, they let multiple people go. I'd go in there, smoke a cigarette, and there'd be a foot coming into my stall, wiggling and shaking like the guy was having a nut right there. Like, and he just couldn't contain his body. Like, that shit was crazy. You always heard papers fucking flipping over because they were reading their pornos and doing their shit. Like, how the fuck are you gonna pick that time to beat off when every man is doing it that time? You're beating off. Yeah, there's a wall, but a wall don't mean there's not a guy right next to you fucking with his hand on his cock too. I can't get hard with that. I can't get hard with shit like that. And I'm sorry. If there's men around me, I'm not gonna beat off. You know, I do it at a weird time where nobody fucking is, like, it's not a packed bathroom. If I see it's not a packed bathroom and I gotta go to the bathroom, I handle it then. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna do it when everybody's doing it and turning papers. I don't even fucking fuck with those pussy books. I had them, you know, in the very, very beginning of my bid, but that shit's corny because everybody's asking for them constantly. You're getting a page missing. I don't need no books, man. I got memory. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go in there, hide my book in my shirt, in my pants, walk by, because they don't want you to bring those books there. And then start flipping through it, worrying about flipping pages, and it's too much, you know? But Franklin, you got the main. It was you got like the mess hall. You got 2 mess halls right there. Boom, 2 mess halls. You can go on that side or that side. They're connected building, 2 mess halls. And then past the mess hall, you got the infirmary where you get your meds. All right? Now, if I turn around, I'm going to turn around right now, you know, so I can still look at you. If I turn around, there's the main part of the buildings where you're in the main still, but there's the dorms, all like, you know, the A1, A2, B, B1, B2, you know, C1, C2, whatever. They got all that. You can walk left, you can walk right, and you can walk straight into it where all the dorms on the main were in the center. The outer walkways really were walkways to go to the annex because they had the gates that you had to walk through. Later on, they made it to where you can only walk one way. You're going to pass that way, and you can only walk back that way because everybody was walking in every direction, and that's how people were finding each other and fighting and cutting and stabbing. They were doing it, trying to cut the shit down a little bit by making you only be able to walk one way. And, you know, a lot of times there was a CO, Sergeant Dumas. We call him Dumbass, but Sergeant Dumas, he'd have the video recorder, and as we came out of the annex to pass by to go into the main, you know, to go to the mess hall, we had to stand there, look at him, say our name, and show our prison ID. I still got my prison ID. Our prison ID, because he, like, guess that was gang intelligence or whatever the fuck it was. Facial intelligence, but Dumas would do shit like that. You'd have to go, like, I'd go up to there, all right, John Santamar, 10-11-86. All right, let's go. And then I'd go, and then the next man does it. It was, you know, it was a nice spot. I liked it. Because Because I may have fought in every dorm, and I may have done two things that I don't need to talk about in this video. I think I talked about it prior. I did two things, but more or less it was mainly fights, but those people deserved it. You know what I mean? Those people had it coming, and shit happens. You know what I mean? Shit happens, but it was loose there. I'm telling you, I went to the yard. They didn't even have metal detectors in this facility. Everybody had weapons. I was making weapons out of the bed frames, like where the ones when they had the springs. They took those beds out in that spot, and a lot of spots are starting to do it. They probably did it in all spots now. But I would take the clamp that holds the long springs for the bed together, take the clamp off, straighten it out so it was about that big. Then I'd take a state toothbrush, take a lighter to it, take off the bristle part. Then I'd take this part, I'd heat it up a little bit, and I'd keep shoving it in, you know, heating it up, just to get the whole, you know, shoving it in and pulling out, shoving it in and pulling out, and heating it up and keep doing it until I felt it was deep enough. And then I'd heat up the toothbrush and then take a wet tissue and go in a circle and bring the toothbrush up a little bit so it supported it more. And then I'd take like a piece of the t-shirt, you know, the bottom part, and then I'd wrap it like a ninja sword, the toothbrush part, all the way up, you know, so you got a good grip on it, so you're not gonna, you know, lose it, and plus it's a little more support. And then I'd sit in those bathrooms. They had grout lines. They had really good grout lines. I'd sit on top, you know, bend down and fucking sharpen the shit out of it. I'd keep moving it around, sharpening on the grout, and I'd have that fucking thing, depending on how much time you spent on it. If you spent a lot of time on it, you got that thing really sharp where just touching it like that would fucking, you would feel pain. But, you know, I'd sharpen it, and it's going in you. It's going in you. You know what I mean? I'd make a bunch of them, you know what I mean? I'd make sure my people were all right, you know? And I'd make sure I had mine, but they were good. I think those were good. I seen some it looked like fucking railroad spikes, like a fucking nail. It wasn't no 10 penny. It was like a rod nail. It was like thick, man. It was huge. Like, I think for a railroad or something like that. That fucking big. It was in the shower, behind the shower. Like the wall. Like you could put stuff behind it. And that's where it was, behind the wall. I took it out and I seen this thing. That's a fucking sword. You know, people say, yo, I pulled the sword out on that motherfucker, blah, blah, blah. You got weapons like that, you got a fucking sword. I would see fucking people work at, you know, certain jobs, like the maintenance and shit like that. They get their hands on certain metals and tools and they get them out, you know, because they're trusted, or they're out and about fixing things, so they drop the shit off. And of course, they maybe go to the metal detector when they go to leave, you know, when they're done with their job. But I see metal, just flat metal, long pieces, and just all sharpened where you can even go like this and cut someone. Like, that's when you want to kill a motherfucker. Or that's when you want to pull it out and see if, you know, to scare people, to get people to fuck away from you that might have a little pick like me, like I made, you know. But I didn't want to fuck with that because I would accidentally kill someone with my luck, you know, fucking stab someone. That shit will come out the back of you. You know, at least mine, you could do it a bunch of times. It ain't breaking. It can break because it's a fucking plastic toothbrush. The metal part could just break off. Depends on how deep you go. I try to go pretty deep, but I got lazy once in a while. But you can get a few times, and that's it. You know, get the fuck away, and that's it. You know what I mean? And just throw that shit on the roof. Because if you don't get caught with a blade, you don't get charged. That's how it went. You don't get caught with a blade, you don't get caught with a charge. But it was a normal facility. They had all the normal jobs. The annex, once you go past the fences, either on the left side or the right side, you know, whatever, there was the same type of dorms. Same type of dorms as the main. They were just in the annex. They were just in the back. And what I did do actually at one point, it was the Clinton Annex Tailor Shop. And I did tailor shop exactly when tailor shop in Clinton, that lady helped those two inmates escape. So that was a huge fucking thing at our job. They made us switch our employees, like not our teachers, you know, they weren't COs, they were our bosses. They worked there. We had to listen to them, and they were our tailor shop people. You know, they had to switch the two people, you know, because we were in a regular dorm. There was a one side and a two side. If we were in the one side with the female, there was the two side that had the male. The male went to the one side to work, and the female went to the two side to work. So none of the inmates got close to them, I guess. So they didn't get no help to escape. It was a big deal. But I was in the tail shop. It was the Clinton annex of the tail shop, but it wasn't Clinton. I wasn't in Clinton. I was, close to it, but I wasn't in Clinton. I was in Franklin, but they had the tail shop there. And tail shop was good because tail shop paid good. I did the tail shop just long enough until I can quit, but stay in the tail shop dorm as a porter. Because I talked to Seal like, yo, I hate tail shops. I hated the motherfucker. The worker, the guy, I hated him. And he just, I don't think he liked me either, because I would always talk, because I was a fast worker, so I could bullshit while I worked. You're allowed to bring your headphones and 5 tapes. So I'd be listening to my hip hop all day, just working. And sometimes I'd be rapping and shit, singing the songs, or I'd be bullshitting with people, like, bragging about how fast I was, all that lame shit. So he didn't like me. So I talked to the CO about, can I be one of the dorm porters? Because I know you're short. You need a dorm porter. I will quit. I can. I have enough time in tail shop where I could quit. And would you let me be a dorm porter? Because then I get to stay in this dorm. He's like, yeah, I got you. So I quit that job and I stayed in that dorm. That was smart because the whole fucking dorm worked all day at tail shop. And there was only like 5 people, porters, 5 people in the dorm all day. We had the dorm to ourselves. The TVs, the fucking mic, the fucking stove, anything. It was ours. It was quiet. It was fucking great. But the only thing is, we had 2 jobs. We were dorm porters, but we were wheelchair pushers. Meaning, we had that was a wheelchair spot. So anybody in a wheelchair that was in our dorm, if they had to go to the meds or whatever, we have to go to the tail shop, pick them up, walk them to meds or the chow, wherever he wanted to go. We had to push him because if you were just a wheelchair pusher, you got $16 a store anyway. I think we got like basically 16 or 18 or whatever. We were basically wheelchair pushers in that dorm, but we had to also, since we were there, just make sure the dorm stayed clean. You know what I mean? It wasn't that big of a deal. But I lasted doing that a little while, and then I had beef with a CO, and the motherfucker lied and said I wouldn't leave the bubble, and I was threatening him. So they thought I was threatening him, like, physically. I didn't threaten that motherfucker. Like, I know better. But they said that because he wanted me to have a problem because I was running my mouth to him. And that was during shift change. He was an overnight CO. So they were all in the bus already. Like, they take the big school buses, like school buses. But it's painted green, you know what I mean? But they're the same thing, school buses. And MH drive the mini buses, the mini school buses, to drive the COs around. MH do it without licenses, permits, whatever, a suspended license. No, they don't care about that. You're just driving. And but it was shift change. So I had like the whole compound of officers come in the dorm, and I was sitting with my hands on top of my locker, because I mean, if you're showing any signs of aggressiveness, it's gonna be worse. So I'm just sitting there like that, and they went behind me to grab the black guy behind me. I'm like, no, it's me. So they fucking cuffed me up. They brought me between the fucking double doors. They uncuffed me. They put my hands up. They told me to put my hands up, and then they held my hands against the fucking wall and beat the shit out of me. I mean, they kept bodying my ribs. I thought they cracked it. They didn't. They didn't crack my ribs. But that's how hard they kept. Boom, boom, boom. You're trying to threaten one of our fucking own. You're threatening our own. And then while they were doing that, the fucking one sergeant kept fucking choking me. And I kept trying to talk like, it's not what you think. It's not what you think. I didn't do it. There's no reason to beat me up like this. But he wouldn't let me talk because I couldn't talk because I couldn't breathe. So I was like red or purple. And he said something. He's like, I'm going to let you go because you're fucking looking like a Smurf or some shit like that. And they cuffed me up from behind. And they had my feet with the cuffs. Where, where usually you can walk still. They got me close to the fucking van. They picked me up. Threw me face first in the fucking van like I was a kidnap victim. And then they kept smacking their batons down saying, wait till we get you to the little box and there's no cameras. Wait. You just fucking wait. And then when I got to the little box, the sergeant, Dumas, said, Sandoval, what the fuck happened? And then I told him exactly. I was like, I did do something. I did not threaten him, but I did do this. You know, I confronted him about, how you going to give me a ticket when you ain't caught, because you gave me a ticket. And I was trying to come off cube confinement, because I was on cube confinement, and I was just almost about to come off. But I was on cube confinement again for that stupid ticket, for not waking up for the count in the morning. Meanwhile, everybody was sleeping around me, but I'm the only asshole he gave the ticket to. That's why I was pissed. And I confronted him when he was talking between the doors to the LCO. And then when he came back in by his bubble, because it was about to be shift change, I was like, yo, I can grab a grievance from that cabinet? He's like, what are you grieving? I was like, I'm grieving you for falling asleep during your shift. And then he's like, oh, you want to play games? And then that's when he called and said, Sandoval won't leave the bubble, and he's threatening me. So, and I still lost. I still got a month in the box. I got a month in the little box for that bullshit. But Franklin, yeah, that's Franklin. Franklin was lit. Franklin was lit. I went to the yard with canned goods. That's like, now they have metal detectors. Like, towards my end in Franklin, they had houses with metal detectors, like little sheds with metal detectors. Sometimes they used, and you had to walk through. They didn't use it every time. I'm sure by now, every time you're using it. But back then, you were able to just line your coat up with fucking canned goods, meat in my pants, like the beef summer sausages and shit like that. And I'd just go to the yard and fucking pass that shit off. Like, it was lit. That place was lit. But, I mean, it was dangerous. They closed that jail down. They closed it down for good, I would say 2 months. Almost 2 months or 2 months. And I mean closed it down. Where we did not leave at all. The program, we didn't leave at all. We just went to chow. And we went one dorm at a time. Like, it's so big of a prison, so many people. Sometimes we didn't eat. They didn't call us for dinner until 9 o'clock, 8:45. Like, that's how crazy it was. Like, and it happened for a long time because there was so much violence. That's what it was. There was just so much, and that was roughly around the time where they said no more hoodies, because people, if they got cut, they would pull their hoodies on over and hide it. That so they didn't make it hot on the walkway. They would go in the dorm and say, yo, I've been cut. All you're doing now is making your fucking dorm hot, you stupid ass. But that's what they were doing to confuse where the cuttings actually happened. Without the hoodies, they're going to know you got cut, or you're going to be able to see who cut you. You know what I mean? Because there's no hoodies. You're only wearing a snow hat and a scarf. You could tell a little more than if the fucking hood is over, you know, instead of being a fucking ninja. But if anybody's got questions about Franklin, write it down below, and I'll answer. I'll answer all the comments. I always do. But I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you guys learned something. It's not a place you want to be. Prison, period. But, you know, Franklin was lit, but you don't want to be there anyway. So I hope you guys all do good. Make the right choices. Make the right decisions. And I hope you guys have a good day. All right, bye.